Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the difference between the old tax regime and the new tax regime as per the Finance Act and as per the latest budget, and we will decide which one is better for you by weighting the pros and cons of each.
You will see what does the old regime say. So if your income is up to 2.5 lakhs, the tax applicable as per the old regime is nil. If your income is between 2.5 lakhs, in the first 2.5 lakhs, the tax rate will be nil. And from 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, it will be 5%. From 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it will be 20%. From 10 lakh to 10, from 10 lakh plus onwards, it will be 30%. That means if your income is 13 lakhs, let's suppose, it means that the first 2.5 lakh will be nil. The second 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh will be for 5%. From 5 lakh to 10 lakh will be 20%. For 10 lakh plus, it will be 30%. That would mean that uh, people think that for the income above 10 lakhs, the tax rate applicable will be 30%. But that is not the case. For the first 10 lakhs, the tax in the normal circumstances, the tax applicable will be 1,12,500. One must note that these rates are exclusive of surcharge. That means the surcharges are generally applicable on the SSCs whose income is above. Now let's talk about the new tax regime. In the tax slab that was introduced in 23-24 financial year, the income up to 3 lakhs was exempted from tax. From 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, it was 5%. For 6 lakh to 9, it was 10. From 9 to 12, it was 15. From 12 to 15, it was 20%. And from 15 lakh to 30, from 15 lakhs onwards, it was 30%. Has a slight change. The change is introduced for the latest budget. That means for the year 24-25, the income up to 3 lakhs is as same as the 23-24, that is nil. From 3 lakh to 7, it is 5. Now there is a change in this. In the previous tax slab, it was 3 lakh to 6 lakh, it was 5%. But now the 6 lakh upper limit is extended to 7 lakh. That is 3 lakh to 7 lakh, it is 15%. For 7 lakh, 12, for 7 lakh to 10, it is 10. Here also, there is an increase of 1. Now from 10 to 12, it is 15%. And in the 23-24, it was 9 lakh to 12, 15%. Now there is 12 lakh in both the upper limits. From 12 lakh onwards, it is the same. That is 12 lakh to 15 lakh, it is 20% in both the regimes. And 15 lakh plus, it is 30%. That means the government has provided benefit to the persons whose income is was above 6 lakhs but below 7 lakhs. Now they not have to pay the tax, it's for 10%, but they have now are shifted to 5% only. So there is a benefit of tax for these SSEs. Now the question is, who should opt for the new scheme? So first of all, SSEs whose income is is more than 5 lakh and is still 15 lakhs. SSEs who is an employer or a salaried person, because he will get a benefit of standard deduction. The SSE who is not having life insurance premium or health insurance premium, he is not taking any health insurance premium. So because in the new regime there is no deduction like 80C, 80D, etc. There are very few deductions available from 80C to 80U. SSEs who don't want reduction in their ATC, as I mentioned, ATD, or the loss from house property titles, 24B house interest. Leave travel allowances, deductions related to house rent allowances are also not, if not provided by your employer, then you may opt for this new scheme. SSEs who don't want reductions such as like donations to political parties, or ATC, ATGGB, or ATDGC, etc.
So I have prepared an income tax table which shows the tax payable by the person in the old regime and in the new regime, so the person can decide which regime to be followed by him, so that he gets the maximum benefit by just putting the income value that he's earning and the other deductions if he's claiming any. Income value is 2 lakhs, and the standard deduction, if he's a salaried person, the old regime, the maximum standard deduction is 50,000. So he will not be able, he is not required to get any extra deduction, because the net taxable income after deduction is this, and the tax as per the calculation of the table, it's zero. That means there is no tax required to be paid. Same is for the new tax regime, where the standard deduction is 75,000 and the tax payable is zero. So the difference is also zero. Let's suppose now the income range is between 2.5 lakhs to 3 lakhs. Let's suppose the income value is 3 lakhs. The standard deduction is zero. There is no extra deduction. the net taxable income will be 2.5 lakhs. So the tax again will be zero, same as per the new tax regime. That means both regimes can be opted. Now let's suppose the income range between 3 lakhs to 3.75 lakhs. The income is 3 lakhs 50,000. The standard deduction is 50,000. There is no extra deduction. The net taxable income after the difference of the standard deduction and the income value is 3 lakhs. There is no tax, as the negative figure means that there is no tax. So there is minus 10,000 coming. That means there is no tax required to be paid. Same goes for the new regime, where there is no tax required to be paid. Now let's go from 3.75 lakhs to 5 lakhs. Let's suppose the income value is 4 lakhs 75,000. The standard deduction, wait a minute, uh, standard deduction is 50,000. Net taxable income will be 4 lakh 25,000. So the tax as per the old slab will not will be nil. Same goes for the new tax regime, where it is coming 6,500 in the negative figure. So there is no tax to be payable in any of the regimes. So both regime can be opted. Now there will be a slight change from 5 lakhs, because the 5 lakh the game turns. If the income is between 5 lakh to 5.5 lakhs, let's suppose it is 5 lakh 25,000. The standard deduction is 50,000 as usual, and there is no extra deduction claim, the net taxable income is 4 lakh 75,000. There is no tax, and the same goes for the new regime. But now, if the income value is 5 lakh 50,000, then there is no tax again. And if you are not a salaried employee, then the standard deduction will be zero. Now, the tax as per the old slab will be 2,500, but in the new regime, it is 16,250 in negative. That means there is no tax payable in the new tax regime. So, we can conclude that there is a difference of 18,750. That means old tax should not be opted by this person. Instead, the new tax regime should be opted. Now, if the income is between 5.5 lakh to 7 lakhs, let's suppose it is 6 lakhs, and the standard deduction is 50,000 as usual. There is the tax, which is computed as 22,500, and in the new regime it is 13,750 negative. That means there is no tax to be payable in the new tax regime. So again, the new tax regime should be opted. But if the extra deduction under section 80C to 80U is claimed in the old tax regime, let's suppose there is some investments in mutual funds or LIC, so the SSE is able to get the benefit of 80C, and he has some medical insurance that is covered under 80D. He will get uh, around, if he is able to claim, 1 lakh of the extra deduction. Now the tax as per old slab is decreased to 2,500, but it's still payable. The tax is still payable, but it's not the case in the new regime. That means still the new regime is far more beneficial because there is no tax. Now, if we move to this 7 lakh to 10 lakh bracket, and let us suppose the income is 8 lakh 75,000. So, and the standard deduction is 50,000. Let us suppose the extra deduction is of 2 lakhs, uh, that is claimed from 80C to 80U or any other allowance which is not taxable. The net taxable income after the difference is 6 lakh 25,000. The tax as per the old slab will be 37,500. But as per the new regime, it is 30,000. Still, the new regime is far more better. Let us now consider if in the same income range, the income value was 87,500, and the SSE was now able to get the extra deduction, maybe from some tax planning or something else. He is able to now get the deduction of suppose 70,000 more, that is 2 lakh 70,000. Now we can see the tax is now changed from 23,500, and in the new regime, it is showing 30,000. That means there is a difference of 6,500 in the tax payable. But now, the old regime is beneficial for the SSE and not the new regime, because in the new regime, he is paying 30,000 tax, whereas he is paying 23,500 in the old regime. So the old regime is far more better for him. But for the condition that he is able to get the deduction of by his tax planning or by his tax consultant. Now, if we move to 10 lakh to 12 lakh category, let us suppose it's the income value is 10 lakh 60,000 and the standard deduction is 50,000. The net taxable income will be 10 lakh 10,000. The tax as per the old slab would be 1 lakh 15,500 if he is not able to claim any other deduction. And in the new tax regime, he will be paying only 47,750. So we can notice or we can observe in the general scenario, the new tax regime is beneficial. But if the SSC is able to get extra deductions, then he he is getting more favorable in terms of paying the tax, because if suppose in this income range from 10 lakh to 12 lakh, the income value is the same, that is 10 lakh 60,000. Standard deduction applicable is 50,000, and the extra deduction the SEC is claiming around 3 lakhs of the deduction, maybe any of the deductions. Now the net taxable income will be 7 lakh 10,000, and the tax as per the old slab is now 25,500. But in the new tax regime, as per the new tax regime, it is showing 47,750. So the difference is again huge, 22,250. So again, the old tax regime is beneficial. So the point is, if there is the provision or the scope of extra deductions or any of the deduction that the SEC may be able to get, then he may opt for old regime by calculating the estimated tax, both from old regime and new regime, by the help of this table. In the same scenario, let us suppose if the income value was 10 lakh 60,000 in the same range. Wait a minute. Yeah. The standard deduction is as usual 50,000 and 75,000 respectively. Extra deduction is now, if the extra deduction is not 3 lakh and it is around 2 lakhs, then the tax payable by the SSC as per the old tax slab will be 55,500, and as per the new slab it will be only 47,750. I'm not writing any of the deductions in the new tax regime because it is quite difficult to get any deductions, because the government is already uh, favoring the SSCs by reducing the by tax rates for the slabs. Here also there is a difference of 7,750. So the SSC should go for new tax regime. Same goes for the next 12 lakh to 15 lakh, and for the same 15 lakh plus. Now if we consider that if the income of the SSC is 45 lakhs, 45 lakhs, yeah, standard deduction as usual, and he is getting extra deduction. The income is quite huge, so the extra deduction he may claim will be around 5 lakh to 6 lakhs. So we consider 5 lakhs. Net taxable income would be 39 lakhs 50,000. The tax as per the old slab would be 9 lakh 97,500, and the standard deduction in the new tax regime, here it is not written 700,000. So now extra deduction, uh, we have considered he's not having any extra deduction in the new tax regime. The net taxable income as per the new regime will be 44 lakh 25,000. Tax as per the new slab now will be more than the old tax slab, that is the difference of 20,000. So he would be opting for old tax regime. So we can conclude that as your income increases or it is more than 15 lakhs, there is a greater probability of getting extra deductions as by the byproduct, and it is byproduct of your tax planning. The tax as per the old slab would be less if your income is more than around 15 lakh or 20 lakhs, whereas you should opt for new tax regime if you are not able to claim much of the deductions uh, you know, offered from 80C to 80U. If your income is below 15 lakh or say 20 lakh, you can use this table. I will provide you by giving it in the description. The link I will provide the link in the description, so you may calculate your estimated tax or by filling up the details like I did. So I hope you enjoyed this video, or you are able to get some of the information about the tax system or the difference between the old tax regime and the new tax regime, and you are able to calculate the tax that you have to pay, your you are would be required to pay for the old tax regime and the new tax regime, and you can decide which regime you should opt, whether old or the new. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe for if you find this video beneficial. Thank you.